Welcome to Financially Speaking Season 2. After having about 13 speakers in Season 1, we are very excited to bring you a new revamped Season 2 of our Financially Speaking podcast with the Finlit Project. As I've told you in the past, it is our endeavor to make different aspects of finance simple for people like you and me. People who don't really understand much about finance but have a zeal to learn more. And as we bring to you Season 2 of this podcast, we couldn't be more excited. I am very excited today to bring to you an extremely delightful co-founder working on a phenomenal investment product which not a lot of retail investors know about. We are going to use today's session to talk about an amazing product which is called Vint Wealth. Anshul Gupta is the co-founder at Vint Wealth, and I am really happy to have this conversation with him. Anshul has worked across different asset classes, from covered bonds to CLOs to pooled loan issuance, all the credit enhanced SPICE bonds. And we are going to tickle his brains a little bit to find out more about his work, to find out more about Vint Wealth and the work that he does as part of the 2030 WRG hosted by the World Bank, and a little bit more details about this interesting, unique product which is called covered bonds. So welcome, Anshul. Over to you. Could you give us an introduction about your work and your incredible life journey?
Great. Thanks, Neha, for having me for this discussion. Essentially, Vint Wealth, it's a digital wealth firm with targeting mass affluent investors. Mass affluent, as we define it, is anyone who is in the 30% tax bracket, but is not a typical HNI. Because if you look at the wealth market in India, all the wealth firms are targeting HNIs, super HNIs, family offices, etc. Firstly, and secondly, most of the wealth firms are operating in equity market segment. While if you look at investment options which should be available to any individual investor, it should not be either equity or fixed deposit. I mean, these are very two extreme investment choices for any individual. There is a vast vacuum between these two extreme investment options, which is what we are trying to fill at Vint Wealth by coming up with products which are fixed income in nature, but still give you returns which are 250 basis point to 400 basis point above your traditional other fixed income options like fixed deposits or debt mutual funds. So we initially started with something called as covered bond. It's a fixed income instrument offering you returns between 9 to 11%. So far, it's been a good journey. We already have crossed the 100 crore AUM, have more than 6,000 active investors on our platform.
Yes, that's an absolutely phenomenal journey, and I'm really delighted to see you expand beyond covered products. We're also joined by Ahvar, who happens to be our finance fellow, and Ahvar has some really interesting questions for you. So over to you, Ahvar.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon. It is a pleasure having you. Sir, would you like to tell our viewers what fascinates you about finance?
Right. So interestingly, like my graduation is in engineering. I did my electrical engineering from Roorkee, IIT Roorkee. I'm a 2012 batch pass out. But I always had this interest in finance. Maybe because my father is in finance industry. That's why it came like a kind of flew in my genes, etc. But my first job was in coding, somewhat related to engineering. But I always wanted to switch to finance, so I gave my CFA, etc. And then started my career in the finance industry with Deutsche Bank. Finance, speaking about finance, it's kind of strange that when we are growing up, we are taught subjects like history, geography, Sanskrit, all kinds of different subjects. But finance per se is kept as an optional subject and is only introduced in your 11th class, while all these other subjects are taught in grades 6, 7, 8, etc. which should not be the case, because financial literacy is something which every individual should be aware of. And my personal view is it should be taught in school grades like 6th, 7th, 8th, along with other subjects like history, geography, etc. It's very important in today's world. Like an individual should be financially aware, should know what kind of investment choices he or she has, should not be chasing the inefficient investment choices which our previous generation might have made, something like ULIP, etc., which are like very inefficient. One should always separate investment and insurance. And once the financial literacy penetrates towards the masses, I'm pretty sure like more investment choices will be available, and people will deploy their hard-earned money much more efficiently.
Yes, sir, I completely agree with you. There is a void in the personal finance space, and even we are working heavily towards that domain, helping people to embrace financial literacy. Sir, another question: how do you think India can embrace financial literacy to embrace alternate asset classes, like just to mention, from ULIPs and FDs to the newer classes like maybe stock market or SIPs? So, what's your take on this?
All right, so I think it's a very important question. Also important because a lot of wealth firms which are there in the market, they try to sell the products and not educate investors about what they are selling. And that is one thing which we are like very clear at Wintwell. We will not sell anything. We will educate investors about the risk and return in any product that we offer. And then it's investor's choice whether he or she is comfortable investing in any traditional or alternate asset class that we bring on the platform. And it's a good trend also. Like earlier, the wealth firms used to operate in an offline world, and there was no digital footprint which was left as to what the RM is communicating to the investor. But with this digital revolution which is taking place, I'm pretty sure a lot of wealth firms will shift to online world, wherein any communication you do to any client, investor, etc., will leave a digital footprint, which will also eliminate a lot of mis-selling which happens in this industry, and will bring in a lot of transparency, efficiency, and other things. And then I think portals like Finlit, they are doing a tremendous job in bringing transparency, educating investors, and I'm pretty sure like there will be lots of players who will help us in trickling down the financial knowledge to the masses.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. We're definitely trying to work on that. Could you tell us a little more about your product, that is Covered Bonds, which is, I think, your flagship product? And do you also have other products on Wintwell app?
Right. So the first product that we launched, like you mentioned, is something called as Covered Bond. Now, before explaining Covered Bond, maybe I'll take a couple of minutes to explain how a regular bond works. When a company issues a bond, essentially the company is borrowing money from the investors. Like when we go to a bank and take a loan, we take money from the bank with the promise that the money will be returned to the bank along with the interest. Similarly, a company issues a bond to the investors with the promise that after so many years, I will repay back the principal, and along with that, I'll pay a certain amount of interest. Now, there is a risk that a company may not be able to repay back the principal and the interest. Hence, to provide comfort to the investors, companies give some security to the bond. The security can be anything, can be a hard asset. If the borrower is a NBFC, a non-banking finance company, NBFCs typically don't have hard assets like plant and machinery. The assets that they can offer as security can be loans that they in turn have given to their end borrowers. For example, let's say Bajaj Finance is a NBFC. Bajaj Finance might have given vehicle loans, personal loans, and other such loans. So money due from these existing loans can be given as security to the bond that Bajaj Finance is issuing. Now, the underlying loans can be vehicle loans, gold loans, property loans, or even unsecured. We at Wintwealth only deal in secured asset classes. So for all the bonds that we structure, the underlying security can be gold loans, vehicle loans, or property loans. Now, this is how a regular secured bond works. These are pretty secured bonds, but there is one risk in secured bond, that if the borrower defaults, goes into bankruptcy, the proceeds from the underlying security can get delayed by 6 to 12 months, because the borrower will be admitted in bankruptcy proceedings, etc. Some legal proceedings will happen, and thereafter the money coming from the underlying security will go to the investors. There is another product called as covered bond, in which the underlying security becomes bankruptcy removed, which means if the borrower goes into bankruptcy, the underlying security, which is given as collateral credit comfort to the investors, doesn't become part of the bankruptcy proceeding. Whatever money is coming from the underlying security directly goes to the investor, and that money, that security, is not a part of any bankruptcy proceedings. So that way, covered bonds are considered superior to traditional secured bonds. These are like fairly popular products in global markets. In India, the first covered bond happened in 2019. Subsequently, a lot of mutual funds, banks, etc. started investing in these covered bonds. And at Wintwealth, we are making such products available to retail investors also, guys like you and me, so that we can also invest in these good products offering decent risk-adjusted returns to the investors.
Yes, sir. It sounds really interesting. Could you tell us what's next on the cards for Wintwealth now?
Right. So Advent will be like offering other products also, like regular secured bonds, securitization instruments, etc. Then there are certain non-debt asset classes which we are exploring, but those haven't been finalized. A lot of pilots are still happening. So for us, immediate products will be regular secured bonds, etc. Again in fixed income market.
So would you like to tell us about a book or quote regarding finance or anything that you resonate with when it comes to financial planning?
During my early college days, I read this book, Rich Dad Poor Dad. That is something which really resonated with me, and I think it gives a decent initial context about importance of financial education, etc. And I'd recommend that book to every college grad, school kid, etc. And I think everyone should definitely read that book.
Thank you so much, Ankit. I'm really impressed that you're an engineer. I'm an engineer myself, and I really like it when engineers are working in the field of finance, because I personally feel कि हमें तो किसी ने भी नहीं पढ़ाया. And when we thought that we are becoming smarter, we were actually getting left behind in the race. So I really appreciate your work with Wintwealth. I remember having my first conversation with Abhi and being very skeptical. And I'll tell you honestly, I invested the minimum amount that I could, but I wanted to explore this so much because there is a large audience. And I was in a client session yesterday explaining that individual about bonds, and he was still skeptical about it. He said, नहीं, अगर डूब गया तो फिर हम क्या करेंगे, and those kind of things. So I feel that with your Wintopedia and programs that you have created, with Ajinkya's LinkedIn posts that go out, I think the mission is very clear. And I remember Abhi telling me that we want at the end of the day the retail investor to benefit. So we would definitely look forward to the upcoming classes where the minimum value again falls below. I understand there are SEBI regulations that are involved, but again to a lower ticket size, and we would love to see newer products. It will be really interesting to try out those different products for retail investors. And all the very best, and thank you so much, Ankit. It was such a pleasure talking to you.
Thanks, Neha. Bye.